will not speak about meetings. I will speak about this map. Because map is only object in this bunker in Latvia. Map is in Latvian just for one reason, because people who made this map wasn't informed that they're making something for secret object or secret bunker. It was told them that they're making this map for Ministry of Agriculture of Latvia. That's why map was made in Latvian. That's the first. And the second most interesting, you see those small territories there? That's not administrative territories of Latvia. That's the territories of collective firms or kolkhoz. Do you know what it is? Truly? Everyone understand what it means? Actually, in Soviet time there couldn't be any private firm at all. All agricultural territory of Soviet Union was divided in kolkhoz, in collective firms. And well, most interesting is that we can see there are not only territories but also names. And names, that's kind of folklore of Soviet period. Just few examples to better understand. New Communist, Golden Star, Way of Lenin, Kolkhoz of Karl Marx, Communism, Pioneer, Fight, Freedom, Victory. That was the names. And of course, historically, those territories had absolutely different names, and even today. But I must say that the eastern part of Latvia, in Latgale, the names of kolkhoz was more strong. For example, the kolkhoz of 22nd Congress of Communist Party of Soviet Union. Imagine at that time there wasn't any copy-paste possibilities. Imagine how hard job was for typewriters if they need to type this long name every time. Well, but actually, the most used name of kolkhoz in Latvia, of course, was Lenin. There was approximately 30 kolkhoz of Lenin in Latvia, and that's why, of course, we have our own Vladimir Ilyich there, which was brought to this bunker approximately 10 years ago after the shooting a movie about Latvian history nearby in LIGATNE town. And after that, this, well, statue was brought to bunker and became a most popular place to make pictures. It looks like that everyone wants to make a picture with this very important person, and I can see in your eyes also that you're waiting for possibility to every city to have their own monument of Lenin, but it wasn't so easy to organize that, because there was a very short list of artists and sculptors which could make the statues of Lenin. But there's a story about one quite small city in Russia, in the northern part. But then the leaders of the city, they began to realize that it's not very good. If the leader of our revolution stands all the time without hat, and there's long and cold winters, that's not good. And then they said, maybe we can change a little bit the statue, that Lenin can stand in a hat, it would be nice. And yes, and sculptor said, yeah, that's not a problem. And when the statue was open for public, Lenin had two hats. One in the hat, another in the hat. That's a story about Lenin monuments. Well, I must say, here in the middle, actually in those rooms, the most specific is sound, because this is a recording room. Yes, this is a recording room, and I think that's quite strange why there should be a recording room in that kind of bunker. I would like to explain this by on quite old Soviet time joke. the Summer Olympics in 1980 was in Moscow. Of course, many countries all around the globe didn't participate in those Olympics, but nevertheless, that was the biggest sports action in Soviet history. And as a traditional Olympics should be opened by the leader of the country. The leader of Soviet Union at that moment was already quite old, Secretary General of Communist Party of Soviet Union, Mr. Brezhnev. And that's why advisors wrote this short text, actually a few sentences on the paper. And Mr. Brezhnev began his speech with words. Oh! Oh, oh, oh! Could you imagine why? Any other ideas?
Olympic rings.
Sorry?
Olympic rings. You read them.
Correct, correct, because in the header of the sheet was a symbol of International Olympic Committee, 5 Olympic rings, and Mr. Brezhnev read those rings. Yes. That's why actually I must say that Soviet leaders till the era of Gorbachev never, or almost never, spoke to nation in live. Because they must be absolutely perfect. They can't tell any wrong words or make any mistakes. They must show to the world, to the society, that they are absolutely perfect. Well, that's why even there in this bunker should be a recording room. If the leaders of Soviet Latvia want to speak to nation, they must record the speeches at first. Of course, this recording room never was used. As some of you want to make his career of musicians, that you can of course order this place, because I think this is the safest recording room in Latvia, because we're 9 meters deep and nobody will trouble you there. You just need to connect to administration of rehabilitation center, and we can organize the recordings there without any problems. Actually, there on a table there are 2 pieces of technique, and this first generation of personal computer of Soviet construction called electronica. Imagine in 1980s in every office, in schools, everywhere was more or less the same computers, but this one is more specific because was used by rehabilitation center till 1990s and technique and so on, and we realized that all office equipment actually are just in 2 colors, gray and black. And office workers also look like very similar. And of course it's so boring when work in the office, and maybe we can change this atmosphere, and the first step to that is change the color of the office equipment. And imagine it could be blue and yellow and orange and green. It will make the atmosphere much interesting. So maybe in few years we must wait for a new line from Hewlett-Packard, a little bit more colorful. Well, but right now we are on the way to headquarters of the bunker. Officially it's forbidden to make pictures there, but sometimes I have a problem with my eyes and I can't see that someone is doing something with it. Yeah. That's why there are different phones. Yeah. Well, at first, actually, I would like to explain why officially it's forbidden to make pictures there. And the reason is quite simple. On the walls you can see plans which shows how civil defense should be organized in the territory of Latvia. And imagine that our officials, even today, thinking that part of this information could be useful. But don't be afraid, don't be sad. Most of those maps you can find in internet also, so that's not a huge problem at all. If you're there, I would like to explain why this bunker was built exactly there, not somewhere else in Latvia. If you're looking on the map, we are right there, and the reasons actually are 3. The first, those 250 persons the bunker was built for, the elite of Soviet Latvia, they, of course, all of them actually worked and lived in Riga. It means bunker should be quite close to Riga city, but it couldn't be close to some bigger cities, some strategic points, because in case of any trouble, bunker could be destroyed first. The second reason is Sigulda bunker. As already told, that was a main civil bunker of communications, which was built earlier than this one. And of course, to make better communication possibilities, those two bunkers should be close enough. And the third reason, maybe not so important, but it's quite interesting. Maybe when you arrived, you saw that there are small hills all around. Those hills theoretically must protect this place of shockwave if it goes over. Theoretically, just because in the end of Cold War, there was approximately 600 nuclear missiles which was targeted specifically to Latvia. But imagine if 600, yes. And imagine if only 1/3 of them explodes somewhere, I think nobody will survive at all. But nevertheless, a bunker should be ready for the guests in 45 minutes. That's the time the people need come from Riga to Ligatne, and from other side, from Cēsis, special military units must bring some food. Because in peacetime there wasn't any products. And, well, food mostly was conserves, not fresh vegetables and fruits, of course. So that's a common fact, how does bunker must work and live there. But speaking about the system of civil defense in total in Latvia, of course this wasn't only bunker. There was more than 3,000 shelters and bunkers for civilians all around Latvia, because in 50s, 60s, 70s, that was a rule. Everywhere, under the schools, under the factories, under the offices, in cities and towns, everywhere should be hiding places for civilians. And as we have a data that in 1988, that's the end of Soviet era, 99% of citizens of Latvia theoretically can hide somewhere underground. It means almost everyone. Besides the bunkers, there was storages for gas masks. Even there was a storage for gas masks. There was approximately 50,000 gas masks for inhabitants of Cēsis region. And that's why even today the administration of Rehabilitation Center is trying to sell out those gas masks. And that's why upstairs at the reception, every one of you can buy absolutely original Soviet time gas mask. Just for 3 lats 69 centimes, you can make your life for 15 minutes longer. If you want to live more, buy 2. It's just because the filter of the gas mask is working approximately 15 minutes. But speaking about the gas masks, 96% of all people of Latvia, theoretically at that time, 1988, theoretically can have their own gas mask. So almost everyone. If you're looking on this map, there's some more interesting information. Those blue rings, circles all around the biggest cities, that's territories which are in most danger, which are most danger, because of course as city is bigger, there's factories, there's some military bases, and of course though it's quite danger to live there. But